Wait, what? No, that's not how it's supposed to be. Okay, we live chat, and then we pop out chat. Checking out Ranger yesterday was pretty fun. I liked it. I actually big time liked it. So I want to continue on understanding it, how to use it, and what I can do with it. So first of all, the idea of how to use it, for me, I thought that, oh, you launch Ranger, and then from there you go to the directory that you want to go to and start a shell session there. Pretty good idea. However, let's say what I want to do now is get to the executable. So we do guessing game, target, debug, and then guessing game without the .d. And then if I press enter to run it, it hangs, doing God knows what. And this happens anytime I try to open a file using Ranger. It just hangs and does nothing obvious at the very least. Maybe it's doing something, but I don't know what it does. See, I'm pressing keys, yet it's doing nothing. And now I'm left to close the tab and reopen it. This is pretty bad, but okay, maybe it's a skill issue, just don't open files, period, kinda. That's fine, but the thing is, still, what if I want to run a file? Well, what I'm left to do is, once again, we go here, guessing game, target, debug, and I guess we start a shell session here. And now I still have to type something in which case what I would do is use Control S, so my tool, and guessing game, boop. And this kind of stops making sense, you know? Because, well, why can't I do this with Ranger, right? It would kind of make more sense. And also, I would usually be in guessing game, and maybe I want to directly run the executable. Well, what I would do probably still is Control S and then target, debug, guessing game. So, since I'm already not fully using the tool, it's hard to argue to use it like this, with shell sessions and the like. What if instead I use Ranger as a file picker overall? That sounds good to me. Also, I do still find it confusing that the selected directory right now is C and not programming. And I also find it weird that you can click. It's just kind of very unexpected. So there is a certain option that lets you use Ranger as a file picker or as a directory picker too. So here we have choose file. Makes Ranger act like a file chooser. When opening a file, it will quit and write the name of the selected file to out file. One thing though, it's pretty weird that you can't choose file, and then you have to specify a file. You can't just say, oh, print to std out by using this, or hold up, by using this. This just doesn't work. Because usually you would use this syntax to mean the file descriptor of std out, but you would think, oh, just put it there, right? Stream again so soon. Yep. I was falling asleep yesterday thinking of how I want to implement Ranger, so I want to do it. So, hello! We would think that you can just use this whole thing to pipe the output into std out. But if we do this, it still requires an argument, meaning we still have to provide the file, making this whole thing just useless. Like, really annoying. Why doesn't it have an option to just print to std out? That I just straight up don't get. So let's go to dev. Okay, G, and then we can use something for D. Okay, for dev, and here we are. So GD goes to /dev, which is very nice. Okay, I guess look at all of the files. There are a few files that essentially mean std out and oh, here they are. Here they are. So in theory, if I understand this correctly, we can just dev std out. Let's pick ting. And it doesn't work. And it doesn't work. Terrible. Terrible. Okay, let's go back here. Oh, and by the way, you can use capital J and capital K to go a bit more at a time, which is really nice. It's more specifically half a screen at a time. So std_air in and out, I can clearly see they are symlinks to, I guess, dev, to God knows what, and TTY is another thing that could be useful for us, but I already checked it and it doesn't work in the same fashion. So let's pick ting, and like, yeah, doesn't work. So it seems to me like there isn't a file that just means std out, which is really annoying. Like, isn't this kind of obvious now? Well, it doesn't really matter that much to me because I already have a specific file that I'm currently using for my KS and so on. If we pick registers, now when I press Ctrl Q, I paste the path that I just picked. So yeah, that's fine. And I use it somewhere here, I use it here. So I can just straight up get this path and provide it to here. And then I can use Ctrl Q to paste it. But we'll obviously create more logic around it, naturally. So now we can pick, let's go up to binaries, to ting, boop, and here we go. We also get the full path rather than some relative path, which is always nice. Didn't I make it to live chat? Sometimes live chat has more messages than top chat. It's such a small difference, so it's very unclear. So, in other words, we can very much use Ranger as a file picker in the same way that I already do with my tool. I don't think I'm going to like discard my tool overall because, first of all, okay, well, I'm not going to be typing Ranger. I'm going to have hotkeys the same way I do for my tool, but let's see how fast Ranger loads up. This is kind of like a long time, being fair, and sometimes it's going to just be faster to use my tool instead. So I guess let's get to coding. That passed, huh? Okay, so I have KS, KD, and KF. I'm going to create KA. Actually, before that, let's make some base parent path, base important path, and relative path. Let's create a function that is paste ranger, I guess, path. Func save it immediately, and boop, to dev null. So what this function will do is paste the contents of what ranger did, essentially. However, let's redo this, and let's say I pick a folder, like registers, for example. Nothing happened. What if I do it like this? Still nothing happened, meaning that you have to specify if you're choosing a file or a folder more explicitly, which kinda sucks a bit, but overall it's okay. So paste ranger instead of path, we will do, what the fuck? Once again, what the fuck? Why is it just taking 2 letters? That's so weird. Okay, base ranger file, and then we'll have base ranger directory, paste ranger directory, func save, yes, that, base ranger directory. Okay. So, we'll have a thing. We'll have a thing to choose a file, and we'll have a thing to choose a directory. So, we have choose file, choose files. Not sure how often I'll need to choose files, multiple, but I may. It's possible. And I may eventually just fully switch to using Ranger always. But we'll get to that. And we have choose directory. Okay, let's try choose directory. What? Oh, I accidentally fucking pressed Alt Q, which opens Discord for me. I got myself confused. Okay, Ranger choose directory, but also to temp picky. So even when I do use choose directory, files still are there, which is not necessarily what I want. If I'm picking a directory, if I'm picking a directory, why would I see files? Like, why would I need to see files, rather? Okay, we'll get to that. So, first, what we do is Ranger choose file into temp picky. See, it's so annoying that it doesn't just print to std out. There's better logic we could have done if it did. So this is kind of unfortunate because temp picky. I thought it would always be filled. No, not necessarily. If we pick nothing. Okay, let's actually check that. Let's check that. So let's choose file, or rather currently it points to this place. Let's try to pick file, and actually I don't want to anymore. What happens now? So nothing gets written to it. That's good to know. What about directory? So right now it's on files. Let's say I pick music and quit, and now it's on music. So it's different behavior depending on what you're choosing. It's kind of annoying. The API of Ranger is like the most annoying that I've ever seen of any Linux programs. Usually they just give you a way to print to std out, or better yet, they just do it by default. So we kinda don't have a way to check if we picked something or not, which sucks. Sucks balls. Sucks massive balls. So here, or rather, no, lower, we pick something first, and then if it's nothing, then we do nothing. But if it's something, then we insert it. Here we kind of have to just insert it, because we don't have a way of figuring out if we need to, you know? And that fucking sucks. So we cat temp picky. Okay, let's try this out. First of all, this is in travel fish, paste Ranger file. It will be a hotkey eventually, so right now it's kind of like whack to actually type in. It's not worth, but it's going to be better. So we paste Ranger file. So say I pick this one. Yeah, okay, so this works as I expect. What I'm thinking of is, what if I separate... Yeah, what if I separate file picking and directory picking? So when it chooses a file, it writes to one file, but if it chooses a directory, it writes to a different file. I think that could be useful, like having two implicit registers, pretty much. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Flicky. I'm gonna name it Flicky. I know, my file names are crazy. But I think that's part of the fun. So here we choose file, temp, dicky, checks out. And then command line -I, we cat this. Flicky in dicky. That sounds like a cartoon. I see. So this will be Control S, this will be Control D, and then Control Q to paste this, and Control A to paste this. Already overwriting the hotkeys that I use for my other tool. Which like brings me pretty much fully to discard it. Should I create a separate branch where I delete them? Does it make sense to create a branch that you're going to be permanently in? I don't know about that. Probably not. So we have paste ranger file, paste ranger directory. They are done pretty much. Let's go to programming, and it's like pretty fast, although I was already in there, to be fair. Dot files, shell session, let's gamp, add paste functions that use ranger. Cool. My bad actually, because not choose file, choose directory first of all. Right, I was thinking like I missed something. And another thing that we have is show directory or something. Show only directories. Show only dirs. Multiple, right? Show only dirs. Yeah. Gaman puff. Great. So now it works. Let's try it out. Paste ranger directory. What? What? Oh! Paste ranger directory. Yes, this. What? Why is it doing nothing? It's supposed to run it? Huh? Huh. Is it because of this? It may be, because it's like, oh, there are no files, therefore you picked nothing, therefore here you go. Which would be really stupid. And it is the case. Holy shit, that's so dumb. That is so dumb. Wow. I'm flabbergasted by how dumb that is. Wow. That's so stupid. Wow. I am impressed by how dumb that is. Terrible. I do like my tool, however, once I get all of my things set up, doing that whole thing in a ranger is also going to be like as fast pretty much. More or less. Okay. So we have paste ranger directory. Right, what I want to commit is this small change, which turns out matters a lot. Remove show only dirs. Turns out, if there are no files in the current directory where ranger starts by default, it picks nothing. Very cool, Ranger. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. So we have paste ranger file and paste ranger directory. You know what? First of all, let's go to config.fish and already have my things. So paste important directory, but instead ranger directory, and then we have bind dash capital M insert control A paste ranger file. Oh, hold up. No. It's going to be S, and this we delete, just straight up just delete for now. So if I control D, fuck, it takes a while. And say I pick dot files and quit, like here I am, and I just press enter, I'm basically thinking of, I have this thing KS which moves me, CDs me into the directory that I pick. Is that really needed, you know? Yeah, I think it still is needed. Still is, like, helpful. And then also we can use Control S. God, it loads up like very slowly though. I think it's good enough where that's okay. It's pretty whack how... Okay, let's try this. Let's say we vim, and then I want to paste a file actually, which is init.lua. Yeah, it's still like fucking around. It's whatever. Doesn't matter that much. Although it is like an unfortunate bug. Okay, I do still think I want to implement the K and J things. Okay, so first of all, we remove all the other ones, all the other functions that I've been using. Fuck. God damn. Picky, so Q will be file. No, Q feels more like a directory. So dicky, and A will be flicky. It's very goofy. Somebody is calling me. Hold up. I guess they stopped, huh? Okay, so here we have the hotkeys for the new things they implemented. And I guess time to delete pick and all the other stuff that I made. Kinda crying a bit, to be fair. Yeah, it's kinda sad, honestly. I made this whole fucking solution, and now it's kinda just unnecessary, you know? Pretty unfortunate. I mean, always, like, good that I now have a better solution. Still, I'm kinda melancholic about this. Damn. Remove pick related functions. Okay. Function ks func save. Damn. But I do think this solution is just kind of better in a lot of ways, where, like, it's fine. I guess if I'm already in a directory, I either already am fine with waiting a bit more to... Okay, let's make a test. Say I'm in dot files and I want to run some file that's in here, supposedly. What do? I do ls, not as what its name it is, and then init.lua. Okay, well, to be fair, and then I would autocomplete it. Or I would control S, boop. Yeah, this is actually faster still. It's more waiting time, but it is faster and it's more convenient. Gives you more info too. Okay, that's fair. So ranger choose directory into temp dicky. And now we just cd into it no matter what. So cd cat temp dicky, because it's always going to be filled. I guess no, not necessarily. For safety, what I'm gonna do, set-l picked ys until the end into b. If, hold up, what was the function just now? So okay, git show head this at oh, I'm interested. Does this support absolute paths? Yeah, fish, fun, travel. I wonder, let's see. It doesn't support relative paths. Interesting. I don't see an option to, like, oh, pick a relative path instead of absolute. We might need to bring my things back then. Like this, I think. Or even get checkout head boop. So for CDing, there's no reason to not use Ranger. Same thing for JSing, which would open the file in NeoVim. But there is still massive value in like relative pathing, essentially. Okay, I see how I can combine these. So check out at head the file of fish functions travel. And here we go. We have them back. Okay. Honestly, I'm glad. Okay, so pick is very much still useful, but get parent directory no longer is, and get important directory isn't, and this isn't. KS we do need. It's just not going to be implemented with pick. Same thing goes for GS. Okay. Paste parent path and this, but paste relative path, this we actually still need. And picky still exists. So I want to have a hotkey that pastes the contents of that file too. So we have picky, dicky, and flicky. I love that. Okay, does Control E? Right, it shows it in that. Control R for me is history, which I practically never use. Not practically, I never use it. And even if I want to, I can capital R and like, here I am. Sure, fair enough. The fourth space, Alright, Control R is now available. I'll still keep hist insert. Maybe I'll bring back the hotkey later, but so far I don't see it being useful enough to keep. Command line -I, we then cat temp pagey. Wait, no, not pagey. Picky. I love those file names. Feeling the nice breeze from outside when it's finally not like scorching hot. That is great. Okay, let's take a small break and go over the way I see myself use Ranger. So I have KS to CD into directories, I have JS to open files in NeoVim, then I have Control Q to paste the last directory that I picked, whether or not I CD'd into it, and I have Control A to get the last file that I selected. Then I still use pick, but only for relative pathing by using Control F. The air is so nice. What the fuck? That's great. Right. So I have Control F to select a relative path, and then I can re-enter it with Control R. We can even like set a mnemonic for it that means repeat. Okay. That sounds pretty good to me. So when I want to just pick a file in the current directory, that's exactly when I use Control F. And Control F doesn't need to be split. You can both pick directories or files. Like, up to you. And that is very nice. Okay, yeah, that's the way we do it. So we have these three files, and then we bind dash capital M, insert Control F to now paste relative path, paste relative path, and we once again have Control R to paste that relative path. Actually, I know how to fix these two. Command line dash F repaint. So let's execute travel, and matter of fact, let's create a new terminal. And let's say I want to KS. Oh, hold up. Wait. Oh, KS does nothing. Wait, no. No, KS is supposed to work. What? Ah, my bad. I didn't actually make those yet. Okay, then Control D. I want to go to lib. Yeah, here. Yeah, now it works because it repaints the shell prompt. So it now looks correct. That's great. Boop. But actually, let's move to programming. More specifically, dot files. Okay, yeah, I like this. I like this. So what's the git diff? So we added two hotkeys. What else did we do? We deleted a bunch of things, but we brought back pick. What commits do we have here? Okay. First of all, let's git reset to unstage all files. First of all, we brought back pick. Mm-hmm. That's the first commit. Then fix paste ranger, showing prompt weirdly. Wait, you're supposed to be get commit amend no edit. Mm-hmm. Cool. Then here we made this, this, and this. Re-add hotkeys for pick. What the fuck? Air is so good. That's such a chronically online thing to say. Air is so good. Yeah, you don't say. Mm-hmm. Alright. And now we are left to make KS and JS. So, Ranger, pick, oh no, not pick, choose directory into temp, dicky, then if test, right, I forgot what it was. And that's exactly why I wanted to git show. Right, of course. First of all, let's amend this commit because I made a typo. And okay. Get show. Yes, that. Hold up. That, however, instead of head, we paste this. Okay, I always wondered, can I just do this? Yes, I can. Ah, but that shows the, not the file, but the get diff of it. I see. And this shows the actual file. Okay, what was the logic? So we set picked. Fuck, why did I pressed Alt Q again. Skill issue. Okay, here we have KS. First we get the thing into a variable. Set dash L picked. Cat temp dicky. Good. Now, if not test picked, return one end. Otherwise, we cd into it. Okay, fair enough. If not test picked, return one end. I would rather it like autofix itself. Maybe the fish extension that I'm using is just not good enough. Let's check if there are better ones, or I guess more installed ones. Okay, no, not just shell syntax. So 6K, 35K, how many downloads? 80k, so this is supposedly the best one if we judge by downloads. God damn, really? Maybe this one is still better though. Fish syntax highlighting and formatting. Linting. It's not very easy to look at. Okay, this is better a bit. Wow, linting. And even formatting snippets, which I'm not a huge fan of, but to excellent but inactive extension Fish VS Code, which is what I'm using, Fish IDE. This started out, I imagine it's like a big project now. Okay, let's install this and uninstall this. Then we disable it, but enable in the workspace. And just to make sure, I will also reload VS Code. Oh, because it's trying to actually spawn fish to do things. For some reason, yeah, it's slower. My thing is slower for some odd reason. Okay, well, it's trying to spawn fish, and I don't want that. Fish shell. What about Fish IDE? IDE features for fish shell scripts. Fish indent. Install fish. Yeah. No, so we're kind of just stuck using this. That's unfortunate. Because I imagine I can't point it at the WSL fish instance, and even if I did, it would be too slow. Well, no, not necessarily. Once it starts out, it's fine. Just kind of Okay. Yeah, let's reload again. Okay, so we see N2 picked. And what we picked is already stored in Control Q, so if I wanted to redo it, I very much can. Then, similarly, Ranger choose file. Huh. Didn't mean to do that. Cat into temp flaky. If not test picked, then we return 1. I could have just copied it, but it's not a big deal. Or rather, let's do it the smarter way. Editor picked, so that if I change my editor, this thing will pick up on that. So KS and JS now work. And now I can do KS and JS. Boop, boop. Yes, go here. I want to be here. Oh, actually, I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah, this is pretty, like, very usable, actually. Okay, let's have some more real example of what I would be doing. So CS proj Lumitron. Basically, I'm trying to have some project that has multiple projects or other sub-projects. Okay, say I want to go to Lumitron. I go here. Oh, actually, let's go back, go to some other project, and like, here we are. Yeah, this is very reasonable, mega reasonable. I would even say more reasonable than my solution was for this before then. Because in my solution, I actually had to type in a part of the parent's path. So we'd first pick that and then the sub-project. In Ranger, I can just type H and it will go to the parent directory, which is exactly what I want. I don't have to specifically pick a project, right? I can just create a new, and actually, let's try that. New, let's pick a directory, this one. Yeah, this is actually pretty reasonable, wow. And now I can KS, and I can press the square bracket, the right or left one, to go in the parent. And that is big. That is big. That is mega big. Wow, that's actually, yeah, that's even faster. That's not just easier to do, it's faster too. Wow. Okay. And now I want to remove, and I can use Ctrl F to pick ASDF. I love this. Oh, actually, I need something else, like, I don't know, maybe I want to create it again, and here I have it. I just straight up have it. Same thing goes for this. Same thing goes for this. Wow. Best of all, the files that I write to are, it's not really the correct way to say it, but cross-platform. I can press Ctrl Q in a different shell session and it will still be there. You may say that, oh, it would be actually nicer to have like session specific files. Yeah, I see that. I very much see that as a different solution. But I see how having a cross session things could be very useful. Say okay, let's KS into, I don't know, programming. Yeah, here. Okay, let's not as good of an example. Let's go to lib instead. Okay. Oh no, I accidentally closed my things. Not to worry, because I now can press Ctrl Q and go there more easily. Especially if I don't know, like Ranger, and now this tab I kinda can't use for something else, or more specifically, it would be annoying to do so. So I just create a new one and go there. Wow, I wouldn't be able to do it with my thing. Wait. No, that's just a straight up lie. That's just incorrect. I just didn't for some reason. I didn't use that functionality actively, but I very much could. I mega could. So that was just unnecessary flame. My own project. Okay. So we have KS and JS, which would open a file in NeoVim. I want to open environment. I see. Oh, actually, Wait, no, not that. Yeah, yeah, I love this. I love this a lot. So KS and JS implemented, and now I can... First of all, I have some sort of like refresh or something. All? It's called all? Yeah, I guess it is. Trash put every function. Okay, all fish. It deletes everything and reloads everything, so now when I press key D, it shouldn't actually work. What the fuck? It so shouldn't work. Okay, let's go there then. Wait. Am I sure KD doesn't exist? It doesn't. It very much shouldn't. Okay, let's go to G. How do I go home? Oh, like that. Ah, this sucks. Right, it doesn't show dot files. There's probably a config for that. But yeah, let's go there. I guess sure, let's use KD. KF so exists. What are you talking about? Oh, it doesn't exist yet. We'll make it, but it doesn't exist yet. Let's remove everything. No functions. All. And now they exist. KD shouldn't exist. Am I missing something? Where the fuck is KD? KS is here. JS is here. I'm so mega confused. It's not listed here. Maybe the session remembers it? Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. Finally. Okay. So let's man Ranger so we can check out if we can make it not filter out dot files. Dot hidden filter, a regular expression pattern for files which should be hidden. For example, this pattern will hide all files that start with a dot or end with a tilde. See, that's exactly what it shouldn't do. Okay. Okay. Let's go and start setting it up. Okay, before we do that, a small break to chill out my mind. Right, okay, so I have it done for the most part. What I want to configure is its ability to show dot files which I now know is mega possible to do. It has configuration files. So I will create a setup fish script that installs Ranger and makes a symlink. Makes a symlink of the configuration options into the correct path. So right now what I want to do is figure out where to put my configuration files and where are the default ones. So all of that is very doable. What is RC or scope or whatever or all? Oh, I guess what config to copy there. I see. Interesting. It says Ranger config, but where is Ranger located? Oh, I guess in the in this directory. Can automatically copy default configuration files to config.ranger. Okay, so Ranger, well, I hate that once you like type the wrong thing and backspace, the auto suggestion just disappears. It's very annoying. Copy config which? Copy the default configs to the local config directory. RC, rifle, commands, commands full, scope. So those are specifically the default configs. So sure, Ranger, copy, config, all. Please note that configuration files may change as Ranger evolves. It's completely up to you to keep them up to date. I see. To stop Ranger from loading both the default and your custom, please set environmental variable Ranger load default RC to false. I see. Okay. First of all, let's go to programming dot files. Okay, how do we create a new file here? File. We have rename. But I could touch I mean, or I just go here and create the file myself, which I find to be nicer. Okay. What is RC? I imagine we can just look at those files in here. Ranger, yeah, okay. Ranger config. What is RC? This rifle, this file contains the default startup commands for Ranger. If you copy this whole file there, each line is a command that will be run before the user interface is initialized. As a result, you cannot use commands which rely on the UI, such as delete or mark. Okay. Okay, my brain is like dozing off big time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be ending stream. My brain is like blah, you know? I may come back to do this on stream again or offline. Don't know yet. We'll see. Goodbye.